Hey, it's your boy 950 Kev for the 950 Lounge Show with LeBron James in the radio game, the most electrifying man in media today. And I'm 1/5 of the best team in radio. So I'm joined by my brother Rodeo, the funny guy, just the classic man, the cynic, aka Mr. Roper, backstage Ed, and the lovely, super talented Steph Pearl. It's 950 Lounge every day, all day on multiple networks. So take us a listen, let us know what you think. Catch us at www.950lounge.com or my Instagram at 950kev. We're back on the ride, 950 Lounge, still joined by me and Josh, and I got a cast of characters that can hold their own. Still joined by Tanny, Mike the moderator, and I wanted to personally introduce a brother to the team that's helping us on our video end. He's got a great program. He's going to be on the CBTV network. I'm going to let him tell himself a little bit about himself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my man Grind, but I call him, he's Grind TV, but I just call him Grind. What's good, bro?
Yeah, what up, yo? I'm worldarama from grindhardtv.com. I'm in my 15th year anniversary on TV in New York City, so I'm happy about that. It's a big celebration right now for me. You know what
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you,
Without question. And welcome to the 950 CBTV.
Facts.
House of Hits. We appreciate you. We like the Yankees. We just picked up a big time free agent.
Right. I'm the Derek Jeter.
Well, Derek, you more like the CC.
Okay,
CC was a free agent, right?
Okay,
Derek Jeter was homegrown.
Cool. I'll be.
But again, talk about your program. You do a show as well.
Yeah, my show is basically, I started it as like a hip hop culture variety show, and I would film like everything in the community that was going on, and then a lot of independent artists. And I would mix them in with like celebrities to give it a little bit more pizzazz.
Right.
Because everybody's also focused on what the celebrities are doing.
Right.
So I would give independent artists and independent businesses a platform to be able to be seen right after or before a Nicki Minaj or a Rick Ross or something like that on the show. So that's always a good vibe right there. And I just kept it going. Just recently, maybe like 2016, I started putting the episodes online because online got so huge that I started putting everything online. So I've been on TV for 15 years, but just from 2016 to now, I have episodes that's online. So I have episodes from years ago that people never saw of artists that either fell off, some of them blew up, and some of them passed away.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So I got a lot of content, and I'm just here and I love what I do, so I'm never giving this up.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Welcome to the family.
Thank you for having me, y'all.
It's question of the day time, and today's question of the day's guest is a young lady I had the pleasure of trolling for a very long time on Instagram, and then she came here last week, so we got the courage to get in front of the mic. She's a young lady and I haven't known long, but she's very talented. She travels a lot. She's going to share some of her thoughts with us here at the Go House. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 950 Lounge, the super lovely Miss Serena. What's going on, hon?
Thank you for having me.
There you go. See, you've made it. You conquered your fear. You just said thanks for having me on a microphone.
And you ain't passed out.
I just don't know why you want like a regular Bronx girl.
Because I'm a regular Bronx guy.
What's regular?
I don't know.
There you go.
I just feel honored to be here.
Well, we appreciate you. I know it's back-to-back week, so thank you so much. But tell our audience what you do. I mean, the first thing I know is about you that you travel a lot. I saw you in Vermont at Ben & Jerry's factory, and you was in Dubai, and in a hijab. And talk about just some of your travels. You do a lot of traveling. You must be a self-made millionaire. But
no, I wish. I'm a registered nurse, and I follow the school schedule, so I get about 10 weeks out the year off.
Summers and everything included.
Yes. So I'm able to travel at least once a month, and
oh, don't feel nervous. You're so cute. You're so cute. My hands are cold, but my heart is warm. Where's the next trip in December? You anywhere yet so far? You planned?
I'm looking at Nashville, Tennessee, because I want to explore more of my country.
Beautiful town, Nashville. Great barbecue. You don't want to go there on a diet. Mike, you've been to Nashville, right?
Been to Nashville. I think I got 32 of the contiguous 48 that I've been to in terms of travel. So Nashville it's not my favorite, but it's high up on the list.
So I shouldn't go? I haven't booked yet.
No, you should go.
Oh, you absolutely should go. I mean, it's Condé Nast lists Nashville.
Nashville's one of the top 10, upcoming cities in America.
Cities to live in America. Yeah. So, and everything is there. It's not the Nashville that you might have.
It ain't the good old boy Nashville.
Yeah, it ain't the good old boy Nashville.
It ain't barefoot and
listen, there's still parts. You just stay in the
parts of New York that's good old boy if you drive.
Facts. You're absolutely correct.
Aside from that, no.
Oh wow, he ain't making names. Grind is even saying names.
Speaking of traveling, just so everybody know, I'm a travel agent as well.
There you go.
And if you go to my site, grindhardtv.com, it's a 365 Surge 365 banner. Just click on it. You sign up with your email, and you could get all of the discounts, flights, hotels, rentals, all that stuff. Really low. Really like, all right, I'm gonna give you an example. I just went to Mexico in May, because every May it's my birthday, May 12th, my birthday. So we always go out.
7 days before me.
Right. So that's why we link.
Right.
Tourists all day.
Yes, sir.
So we went to Mexico, and I keep saying this, and I know that all of the other party, they gonna be mad every time I say it, but I try to compare it and tell people like, yo, y'all need to book through me or whatever, so they didn't want to listen. So in Cancun, Mexico, 2 people in a room for the wedding party, everybody had to pay $1,800. But I booked through my travel agent, and me and my lady went out there for $1,200. So I'm like, damn, I saved $600. Like, that was an extra $600. That was, we could put on our flights.
I might go to Nashville with Serena now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then I go out and I rent cars. Like when I go get rental cars and stuff like that, I do Uber rentals and stuff. And when I get cars, I'm getting cars for like $39 a day, $42 a day. You know what I'm saying? So, and you could get that just through going through my joint, signing up with your email, or you can sign up and be a travel agent yourself, since you do a lot of traveling as well. So
the way I book is a little bit different. So my trips are mostly free or very low cost. Like
Okay.
Sugar daddy?
No.
hold up. I like to know how you do that. How you
My
do
sugar
that?
daddy is JetBlue.
Do you get plus ones?
Used to work there or something?
No, they don't sponsor me, but I recommend the JetBlue credit card. It's amazing. I average out about 3 free vacations per year, just like that.
And you recommend that to who? Like just the public?
Anybody.
Oh, so you saying it right now?
Well, listen, we have a rule here. See, Grind can promote his because he's fan. We don't promote JetBlue until they start paying $9.50. They ain't put me on no plane. And matter of fact, last time I was on it, they didn't even have the peanuts I like to eat. But in any event, it's question of the day. And question of the day is presented by our good friends at Stoner Club Apparel. Stoner Club Apparel. Go to their website right now for 40% off on all holiday shopping. So you get your T-shirts, your sweatshirts, your hats, anything you like for 40% off. Give Serena a nice parting gift to go to Nashville with. Go to stonerclub.com. Stonerclub.com. Be different. So today's question of the day, and I don't know we had a nice little conversation driving back home last week, but I don't really know too much idiosyncrasies. You try to dive into my idiosyncrasies, but that's for another day. But today's question of the day is, can you be in love with 2 people at the same time? What to do if you have strong feelings for multiple people at once? Now, has that ever happened to you, Serena, or you're going through that now? I don't know.
No,
you're on your business.
I've only been in love once.
Really?
And I was 17 years old, so it's been over
last
a
year.
decade. Huh?
Last year.
Yeah, okay. It's been over a decade since I've been in love.
And why just haven't found the right soulmate, or you just stopped looking?
Just started focusing on myself.
Okay. What about you, Grind? You're in the entertainment business. You do a lot of things, and then you had the kids here the other day.
That's a real interesting story behind me.
That's why I asked. I figured it would.
All right. So, The Hoffs is a series that I produce, and it's about me just raising my children. And Hoffs means head of the household, because every man wants their sons to be heads of the household. Right. I got 3 sons by 3 different women. And these were relationships that I were in. One was my wife, she's now my ex-wife. One was like my girlfriend for like 6 years. And then another one's my fiance that I've been with for 11 years. Right. But in the transition...
Let me ask you a question. How do you make that fiance 11 years? She ain't put no shot in it yet?
The thing with that is that I was married for 18 years. Okay. So when me and my ex-wife separated, I moved on with my life. She moved to another country. That's how I be in Trinidad and everything like that. Gotcha, so she didn't move to another country. And women, if they want a guy, they're not worrying about if you married to a woman that lives in another country.
You wasn't Mormon, so you really couldn't pull that off. Right?
Definitely not. But that's how that worked out. So I finally got a divorce maybe like 2 years ago. And, we got engaged, and now we still waiting for our day. But with that being said, in the transition of being in these relationships, there's times where it kind of overlapped a little bit. You feel me? So I can't say that I wasn't still in love with one person while I was with the other person. You feel me? So I can't say it's possible. It is possible to be in love with more than one person.
Speaking of the overlap, I know you
already know my answer. Hell yeah, you can be in love with 2 people at the same time. Yes, church.
But there's a difference. being in love and having love for somebody.
Oh, big
Well, like in my defense, I have children with these women, so my love for them is genuine. It's there. It's not like in love, like meaning if I'm with you and we're still being intimate, no, but I still love you. You know what I mean? And just me having love for somebody that could be a friend that I'm not cool with anymore, but we ain't going at each other's throats, but I still got love for that person. That's a different kind of love. Like, yo, I still got love for them, but I ain't rocking with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's different kind of loves and being in love and stuff like that.
Tanny, let me go to you. Again, like I said, your background, you worked with a lot of appealing women. We'll keep it at that. And obviously, I'm sure you heard a lot of stories, and maybe your own personal, but can a man be in love with two women at the same time? Or can women be in love with two men? Or can women be in love with two women? I mean, it is 2019. But could somebody love two people at the same time?
I feel like
passionately.
I feel like the idea is that you should be in full love with everyone that's close to you.
Right.
Now, who you're committed to and willing to change for, whether it's for better or for worse, is kind of like a one-person thing. You don't want to be all messed up with two people changing into something and you don't even know who you are. But if you're willing to change for that person, which can sometimes be worse, then I feel like that's only one person that you'd be willing to do that for at one time. Then once you leave that person, you got to kind of recalibrate, which would take time.
Yeah.
People who jump relationship to relationship for relationship, they're not fully invested into anything.
Yeah.
So they look at those people like, oh, I was technically in a relationship with you and technically a relationship with you. So they think they're in love with two. But I don't think.
Not at all. No. Let me go to my man, Big Brother Wise.
Probably. Probably. You always realize after the fact if you thought you were in love or if you actually were.
Or maybe I was in lust.
Maybe I stay in lust. Let me go to you. Your thoughts on this topic? Can you love two people at the same time with the same intensity? Not just like how Serena said, love and have love for someone, but really be intensely where if somebody said make a decision, you really don't know where to go. Yes.
Nah, can't do that.
Okay,
the emotional discipline that a relationship requires. The emotional focus that a relationship requires, you can't divvy that out. This is a one serving type situation. There's not enough to share, and once you start trying to break that up, it's one of them items that has to be dispensed whole. True love has to be given out whole in its entirety. Once you start breaking it off, them frayed edges, them exposed parts that are not supposed to be exposed, the emotional distraction, then no one gets no focus.
So what about the religions that they can have more than one wife as long as they can take care of them? So you saying that those men don't love those women equally? If they marry them?
If you speak to some of those men, when they start to share, the hidden fine printed parts of that particular belief, there always ends up being one wife that is a little bit arm and leg ahead of the rest, even in the pecking order of that.
Similar to, and I don't know this by anything I've done, but similar to like the pimp game. There's always going to be one bottom chick that holds it down, and then I know you would know about that world. And then it's going to be obviously the flock. So it could be like
you speaking up for your brother, huh?
Well, we had the same daddy. Rest his soul. But from a standpoint, that could be the case. So to answer that question, yeah, like even a Mormon relationship, you'll have two. You might have like two families, but there always will be one that maybe is just like, even with, not to, you have three boys, but not to put nobody with no problems, but it's probably one that maybe just does something that maybe the other two.
Oh, but that's no doubt, no question. In my mind, I always think about the difference between the three. Yeah. I never tell them that.
Right.
In a talk or maybe a little heated argument, I probably would bring up, well, I've never been in a relationship where such and such happened because in my relationship, and that's always an issue. Yeah. But even like you said, with Mormons or like Muslim religions where they have more than one wife, of course there's going to be one woman that feels that she's above them all because maybe she was the first wife.
AKA the bottom man.
Right, exactly. But that doesn't mean that man doesn't love all of them.
Oh, no, I agree.
And that was the question.
Right.
Can one person love more than one person? And yes, you can, because people that have more than one wife or women that have, more than one man, baby father or whatever, they still be loving them.
So that leads us into the question of the day. Let's go right into. We got a couple questions that talk about this topic. So, Grind, the same thing. We'll ask you your opinions. You was here last week, and everybody else knows the deal. So let's go with the first one is, what should you do if you're in love with two different people? If you feel that you're in love with two different people, don't act rashly. You might feel compelled to tell both people about your feelings, to break up with your current partner or to begin an affair with a new one, all which are likely to have unpleasant consequences for you and the other two people. Let me go to you first, Serena. If the situation happened, let's say two men come to you. Maybe you have one is a friend that you didn't know his inner feelings, and maybe one you're dating, and they both come to you. And I just saw this in a movie the other night, and they both come to you and say, I possess my love for you. What do you?
That's happened before.
Oh wow, I'm sure.
And they started competing for my affection.
Hey, nobody got shot, did they?
No.
Okay, good. Okay.
No.
Bang, bang.
So what did you do then?
I'll keep it honest, 100%.
Please. You left both of them.
I don't believe you.
She was enjoying that attention.
She juggled both of them for a while.
Who's taking me on vacation?
Who's taking me out for dinner tonight?
That's how she got hooked on vacation so much. They was taking her out.
Get the inside.
You're being exposed here.
On the video, dancing.
No. The thing is, when guy gives you a lot of attention, when guys give you a lot of attention, after a while, girls don't like that, so we go after the guy that doesn't give us attention. So we always like the douche guy.
Because it's overstimulating.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's not a lot of, it's got to be like a game of tag. So it's like sometimes you got to chase for this part of the game, and then sometimes I got to chase. But if you just constantly always chasing, regardless of what side, it's overstimulating and very over.
It's a gentleman on this set that does that to a T, and that's my brother, Just the classic.
You a chaser?
No, he doesn't chase. He makes women feel like really rough. He's really rough, and I think it's a reverse psychology.
I'm nice. I'm nice, just in a rough way.
Your nice could be your horrible for somebody else.
It works though. But it works.
No, but because she just confirmed it. She said that guys that be sweating girls and constantly on them, they don't be paying attention to that. They want the guy that's not really paying attention to them at all.
But you know what is weird? Because I say like these younger girls in their late 20s to early 30s, they want all that attention. They want you to be there, be underneath. I don't know. Everybody different.
You're in that bracket.
When I'm ignored, then it makes my mind go crazy. Wondering what they're doing, who
exactly.
they're with.
So when I say we were in a relationship and I'm constantly, I'm doing this, but I'm not texting you all day, but maybe 3 hours.
Who you with?
3 hours. Why you
not texting me?
See, like I said, they want that attention.
Me go crazy.
Really?
Why you ignore me?
When you have older women don't need that all attention all the time. I hate to say it like that.
That's not necessarily
I
true.
really? Completely disagree. I feel like
so then I just guess the women I mean.
I feel like 100%.
It's just the woman you pick.
It definitely has a lot to do with your background that gauges your maturity, because I've met a lot of girls in high school when I was in high school that's more mature than most of these 30-year-old women that I've met, and it really has a lot to do with their background and what they've endured to give them the insecurity. So prime example, the reason why I don't entertain a lot of females is because I get that question, like, oh, they always want to be constantly in communication. And it's like, look, with me, if I'm checking for you, then that means a lot, because I don't have time to check for a lot of people. But I'll check on you. But if you're just going to be wondering what I'm doing all day, what are you doing with your day that you can be focused on me all damn day? Nah, that's too much. That's entirely too much for me. That's overstimulating as hell.
Totally
Do something with your life and then
Listen.
hit me up at the end of the day.
Listen, I like it. I ain't
That's
gonna
just
lie.
trust problems.
I use a motto that I always go by, and I say 4-legged animals run faster than 2. If we're running in unison together as one component, we're going to move faster, we're going to do more things, we're going to be able to enjoy more. If you're on my shoulders, you're only slowing me down. So if you don't have your direction as a person, then how can this relationship benefit you? You almost become a leech, because now you're just sucking what I got. And then again, there's some men who like being leads. They don't want their woman to have their own identity. And there's some women who don't want their men to have their own identity. And I think that's the problem, that the jealousy component plays a big part in that, because, oh, wow, Grind is doing this, and, oh, well, he's out here talking to these women. Like, that's like we talked about in the previous show with Showtime. Yeah. Oh, like, I'm out doing these different things, so he must be doing, or she must be doing something, when in actuality, they're just trying to get ahead. And if you had your own thing going, you wouldn't have time to focus on that. And only the reality would fit. So,
you know what really...
I wish that we knew that like 3 years ago, because I probably wouldn't be single anymore.
You know what really...
You knew it 3 years ago. You just had over issues.
4 years ago.
You just had over issues 3 or 4 years ago.
That's not true.
And I'm not going to say it on this radio show.
From all the people that I've like dealt with, because I help a lot of people with their relationship problems and deal with whatever they're going through in life, which is why I'm trying to be a life coach. But most people I realize is it helps them when I explain to them everybody has their own love language. So based off of how you was brought up and what you was exposed to and what your background is, you have a particular love language that you adapted to. Of course, as you grow through life, you're supposed to mold it, not just leave it a stone and think it fits in all situations, because you want to mold it to what feels right for you. And when you're dealing with someone's love language, through their actions, they'll show and express to you what they're looking for. And rather than going to find it because they like you, they want to squeeze you into that box. So when you're able to express your love language directly to someone, it kind of gives them the opportunity of whether they want to continue to engage or whether they don't want to engage. But when you're not able to articulate that, both sides end up in trouble. At least if one person can't articulate it, both y'all in trouble.
Go on, love doctor.
It sounds real good, but at the same time,
You said it, go out loud.
it sounds real good, but at the same time, like when you in a relationship and you first meet somebody, like as you said you got to see how a person is. When you first meet somebody and y'all all giddy and happy and lovey-dovey and all of that, you ain't seeing those red flags at first.
That's because...
But that's your mentality. You got to go in looking for something. You can't allow the euphoria to blind you. You can't. Because if you get caught up in the, oh, she's so gorgeous, she makes me feel so good. And then not only that, but it depends on what void you have. So if that void is tickling, if that person is tickling the fancy of your void, then your automatic instinct is to get that filled. You're looking for it to get filled.
But here's where I'll go against that, and I think me and bro are on the same page. If an individual you're involved with has an ulterior motive, then what you're saying is not necessarily applicable. Because if they got an ulterior motive, like, I ain't pointing at you dudes.
Thank you.
I take shots.
Let's say the young lady in particular has a particular requirement. In reality, it's a need. So let's say she has a particular emotional need, but I have an ulterior motive. So she's looking for red flags, but I have a motive. So I'm going to purposely make sure that I'm not any of those red flags until said agenda, whatever that may be, is accomplished. So she could go in it, looking for something in particular. If she likes dudes who brush their teeth 3 times a day, then I'm having conversations with her on the phone with me brushing in the background. Right? So...
As
far as she's concerned, I got the prime oral hygiene.
Is that true, Serena? You like men 3 times? I hope at least once.
Twice.
There you go. It's a good girl.
So I think we ignore the red flags in the beginning because we think we could change the person.
So like you said, the one thing about the love language thing, right? You also have to allow time to pass out of the euphoria state. Anytime I deal with a female, especially if I really like you, I am less likely to deal with you as quickly because I have to let that phase dissipate, because it's like if you're not usually clean with your teeth, but you're clean it now because I know you, let's see how long that is.
So what is it, like a year or 6 months to a year?
Here's the thing.
If it's someone that's purposely trying to con you and they're that invested into a whole year, they end up losing themselves.
But very good
a con artist is trying to get in and trying to get out. So if
they don't have time,
they don't have time. It starts to change.
And that you just get in, get out.
Facts.
Stick and move.
Stick and move.
Look, that's to go back off of what you said. Like it's a whole network of shows now that prey on that.
Yes.
Women that meet sports stars or celebrities, and I don't know if they're pretending that they love them, but they go and make a family, and at the first sign of something going wrong, they out of there and they just want that check now.
It's called the $1 Million Penis, and it's on every network.
I'm still trying to find $1 million.
But you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it from that aspect, because a lot of these guys that are big sports players and rap stars, they know that they wasn't going to get them kind of girls if they wasn't in that position. So they go and fall in love and they go and make these babies and stuff, and then they'll do what a lot of men do. step out. And that girl, she never really had in her mind that she wanted to be with this guy for the rest of her life anyway. She just wanted to solidify that check, which is that having babies.
Serena, before we move on to the next question, have you ever dated a man just for money?
Yes.
I love her honesty. I love your honesty.
Boo.
No.
Was it 18?
Between 24 all the way to 27.
Okay, so last year. I'm joking. That's okay.
So
I'm 31.
elaborate on it.
Please.
I used to be a sugar baby.
Meaning that your parents took care of you and gave you everything you needed, right? That's what you mean.
Not her parents.
Not her parents.
Not her parents.
Her daddy, not
Daddy.
her dad, not her
Sugar
father, her
baby,
daddy.
not her real
yeah.
father.
Her daddy.
Her nice to meet you father.
You hit it on the head, Grind. That's how she got the love of traveling.
No, that was not it.
I want to go. I'm gonna shake this globe, and I want to go. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the sugar daddy years.
I was catfished. I was on Plenty of Fish, and this guy was sending me pictures of himself when he was in his early 30s.
And what, it was in his late 50s?
Yeah.
Oh, rodeo. Okay.
But you had a good time though.
Oh yeah.
You used it to your benefit. So you
was a good guy.
instead of getting catfished, you hooked the fish and was having
And she put some cornmeal.
said a fish is a
she was having turfing.
She put some cornmeal
some
on there,
time,
some
huh?
red beans on the side. And
But
made
the
a
thing is,
meal.
I wasn't looking for that. It just
Happened.
But you let it happen.
But see, like just like the gentleman said, the guy was trying to lure you in with young pictures for you to think, okay, this is me. But then when you found out who he was, you wasn't attracted, but you was attracted to his wallet. Yeah. So it worked out for both instances.
The 20s taste is
I mean,
crap.
he grew on me after a while.
And that's
that the-
wait, Tanny, that's 3 years.
Where is he at now?
She
He
said
still
for
around?
3 years that
We're friends.
she was in it.
We're your friends.
Yeah, I don't accept gifts or money from
No
him
travel.
anymore.
Oh, no travel. Okay,
So
you
we're
you've
friends.
cleansed yourself.
She held the con for 3 years on it. I hate
Right.
to say it like that now, put your business out there, but she hustled the con for 3 years.
Well,
she invested 3 years.
Maybe she was. Maybe
of
she was
life.
in nursing school then, and it was a reason behind
I
it.
ain't mad at that. Listen, I'm trying to be like that. She's my role model right now.
Let's go to the next question. And we're talking about today's question of the day presented by Stoner Club. We're talking about, can you be in love with two people at the same time? So here's the next one. What does being in love with two people say about you? Feeling like you're in love with two people at the same time can be nerve-wracking. For starters, our society tends to install in people that is not even possible, yet alone desirable state to be in. Add, in fact, that it often takes the form of some form of cheating along with the possibility that either person knew about the other. The whole thing would come crashing down and you're likely to leave left out, pretty stressed out person, being a stressed out person. We'll go to you first, Grind. What does that say about you? Like you said, you was that married thing, a girlfriend, had a wife on the side. But what's that mean when it says about you individually?
Well, with me, I guess since I felt like I was in love with two women because I had children by these women and I had like a lot of history with them. I didn't feel anyway. I felt like I was trying to get the women to get along. Actually, everybody should just get along. Like we have children together. The fact that I was sleeping with more than one of them at the same time was, just my, things that I was. You know what I'm saying? But like I didn't feel no way about it. I was mad that they didn't want to just comply and be friendly and everything like that.
As Danny said, that's real pimping right there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because, like, look. Women will always say, "Oh, he's a deadbeat dad. He's a dirtbag. He don't want to be there for his kids. He don't want to be there for his kids." But I'm doing everything for my children. But at the same time, these women are loving that I'm doing that, and at the same time, they're willing to do extracurricular things with me because of that. Right. So I was doing the right thing. So I felt like, why not? Like it's all good. Yeah. So I didn't feel no way about myself. I grew up without a father, so I don't know my father at all. Right. Like I only know what he looked like from a picture my mom saved. Yeah. So that instilled in me to be there for my children. Yeah. And if that meant enjoying all of their moms, then
listen, you gotta have some benefits. Let me go to you, Tanny. You worked in an environment where it's probably easy to form with two women at the same time, and
yes,
or maybe three. But a standpoint, what's that say about the individual if a man or a woman, again, you're kind of coming from a mental standpoint, which the show is about, but what does that say about that individual who is in love with both people? Is it a situation where it's an issue with them, or is it just a circumstance like with Grind? What's your thoughts?
So as a aspect of me being in love with the multiple
Yes,
people,
like if you're in if you're in love with two people, what's that saying about you as a person? Is it a selfishness? I mean, what is it in your mind, your opinion, your thoughts?
if I'm really in love, then it's confusion.
Okay.
But if I'm not, which I have been, not in a strip club, but when I used to throw parties when I was
I'm
younger,
in love with a stripper.
I used to deal with multiple females at the same exact time. And I feel like it depends on your approach, because I didn't sustain that in a way where I was trying to deceive, manipulate, or just take something from it.
Just playing your part.
Yeah, just being me,
Yeah.
being honest, being upfront.
Right.
And not being just, being an asshole. Avoiding those types of things.
That's
and
why
it
he's the
becomes
cynic.
charming.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, if I really felt like I was in love with each one, then that means I'm investing a little difference. I'm boosting her head up. I'm boosting her head up. I'm giving her hopes and dreams. And that's when I feel like a lot of destruction leads right after that.
Let me go to you, Mike. From a standpoint, is it because of the society we grow up in, especially as African American men, where it seems that's like praise that we have multiple women or multiple relationships? Is that something of pride, or if in a situation and you're going in that situation with both eyes open that I got Serena and Serena's best friend? Is that I'm just making a point. Nothing serious.
I don't care.
It's all circumstance here. But is that something that says something about you if you going in, like grind situation kind of just it meshed together, but if you going in it with eyes wide open, is that does that say something about you?
I think it has to. I think, like I said before, one of the greatest disciplines required in life is love, right? And the emotional attachment requires an investment. There's a lot that goes into it. That's why most people refer to relationships as investments, right? But to get the true return on that emotional love investment,
right,
I think it can only be monogamous. It can only be one-to-one. When you start dividing stuff up, you get a return on your investment, but it is really as significant as the one-to-one return. So with that being stated, yeah, man, if you all over the place, then it does say a lot about you. It does say, and you know what, I speak for myself. I could tell you times when I've been truly monogamous in my relationships, and I could think of times when I've been far from monogamous in my monogamous relationship, if that makes sense. And those were the times where I look back on them like, yeah, I was my most shallow, I was my most immature, I was my most unprepared. It says a lot about me and my character.
Serena, let me go to you. You've already mentioned that you had two men that was vying for your affections.
The audacity.
The nerve of them.
I didn't ask for it. It just happened.
Right, exactly. Like, why y'all want little old me? I ain't much to look at.
I salute that, all right? Let the homie rock. Let the homie rock.
And I ain't get to you yet. But looking back on it now, because you was younger, what have you, but looking back on it now, would you put yourself in that position again, number one? And number two, did you feel that you were a certain way or affected your personality or makeup because you were dealing with two different men at the same time? Did you feel like you was leading people on? Or she's been that way most of the conversation.
That's a bad look on the person, because it makes them seem like they're complicated. They need extra attention, extra love. And I would not do that again.
Okay. Well said.
So you feel like you caused both of them to be attracted to you? Like you caused that? Like you contributed to that?
How did I cause somebody
No,
to
I'm
be
asking
attracted?
you.
No.
No, you don't think so?
You didn't cause that, you don't think? But you were happy with the attention that they were giving you.
At the beginning, and then it became too much.
So you entertained both of them at some point in time?
Yes.
So you wasn't the cause of that? Dum dum dum. Bow. Got it. In the corner. Bang bang.
There you go.
Bang bang.
Tanny show coming soon. Just your thoughts on and again, I know you very well, bruh. But I also know that, and the people see that, but I also know that when you're in a committed, you're committed. I know that about you. But in the standpoint, that's not the fun stuff, but in a real committed situation, if you had two women because of circumstance, but you then start to really feel emotions for both of them, what's that saying about you personally that you can't let one go?
I don't believe you.
That he's complicated.
It's not that you're
Madam
complicated.
Secretary of the Court.
You need a lot of love.
No, it's that you have a big heart. and you see a lot in both of these women, and it's to the point where you can't make a decision. So your decision is to be with both of them, because if you break from one, it's not so much you're hurting, it's more you feeling like you're gonna hurt them. And I've been in that situation. Like even when I was in high school, I used to go through stuff like this where if you're a good person, people like to be around you. People want to hang out with you. So I used to have women who liked me. And it wasn't so much of anything. It was just that I was a good person. But now I have 2 girls who like me. And I like both of them. And I'm not going to make a decision because you know what? For what? I could be in a committed relationship with 2 women. I can give both of them as much time as they need and still have time for myself.
Does it make a difference if you're married?
To both of them or just to one?
Well, you're not Mormon.
So I mean, if you're married, if you sign that paper, then you have to hold that. And it's not so much of the marriage, the paper. I'm a very religious person, so if we get married, we stand up in front of God and we take each other as for vows and everything else. That's the situation there.
Serena,
before God.
Would it make a difference?
I think it would.
Okay,
But
you got to
I'm
think
into
about that for
Have
a
you
second.
heard of a throuple?
No, but please explain it to me because this sounds interesting.
Yes. With details.
And each 3 people love each other.
Hers and hers
Yeah, but you can't go in front of God and talk about I'm about to have a throuple like that.
It's not something you do. It's an actual relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't go to God and get married on that though.
Well, you don't go to God. You go to the government.
Yeah, I know. Once again, like I said before, I'm a very spiritual person.
I think
so I take marriage.
I think
very
Tanny's an
serious.
atheist, so I'm joking.
To me, marriage is serious.
Right.
So if I stand before God and I commit myself before God to somebody, then that somebody is the only person.
Okay.
But if it ain't before God, Jesus help us all.
Jesus, don't look at him now because
So
he ain't.
I'm doing good.
Any point in time that I've been in a situation where I had to choose this one or that one, it's rare, because if I'm messing with multiple females, it's because I'm very focused on what I'm trying to do, and I just fill in off my availability.
Fill in the gaps.
Right. Now, if I'm picking someone I want to fully invest in, there's 2 things I have to be assured of myself. First of all, it comes from awareness. You got to know exactly what you need in a relationship and what you want out of a relationship. And it's not a lot of people that can fulfill that in your life at one point in time.
No doubt.
So if you have 2 options, pick the one that fulfills both. I promise you, they both don't do it.
I'm going to jump right in before you go.
Go ahead.
If you got 2 options, why pick? Just enjoy both of them. Go ahead. You can say what you want to say, Kev.
That's why you're single.
That's 100% in 2
and
people.
with that, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break and we'll keep it going. It's question of the day. It's Non-Free Lounge. Come on back. We're back on the Rod Non-Free Lounge in the middle of question of the day presented by Stoner Club Apparel. Again, Stoner Club Apparel's got 40% off for all your holiday gifts, hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, you name it, they got it. Go to stonerclubapparel.com, get your discount. Stoner Club Apparel, be different. We're still here joined by my man Tanny and Mike the moderator sitting with me and Just the Classic Man. My brother Grind, big shout out to him, new to the brand, to the family. And the lovely Serena, who's making her maiden voyage behind a mic. She didn't know she could even do this, but you've made this, you're comfortable with it now. Got Daddy watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That might make
Hi,
you
Dad.
more nervous. Dad, I don't know. I didn't make her say this stuff. But in any event, before we get back in the question of the day, you're an avid traveler. Give me your 5 best or greatest destinations you've been to.
Number 1 is Turkey, Cappadocia.
Okay.
And then Greece, Egypt, Dubai, and shockingly, Barbados for me.
Oh, okay. That's kind of normal. Barbados. I know.
Grind, you
I've been to Bermuda, Bahamas, Trinidad, Jamaica, Mexico, all over America. My next step that I want to go to is Europe. You know, I want to go to Germany and Switzerland and all that. My brother lives in Switzerland, actually.
well, I've been to Bed-Stuy, City Island.
Jamaica, Queens,
Jamaica, Queens,
Hey,
yeah.
listen.
Chinatown.
Just put me in DR every year. Just send me to DR every year. That's
wonder
all I
why.
ask. I have a great time. Soon
Oh,
Trinidad.
yes.
Trinidad.
Spoken by the existing ruler here of the house. Just let my peoples know that I'll be gone for 7 days and don't check up on me.
I have a question for you, right? So I went to Phuket in Thailand, right? And that's the first time I had my passport the day before. That's the first time I left the country. that experience and coming back to United States made me have a whole, not major alter in my perception, but it shifted it a little. I looked at things a little bit different. For you to have went so many different places in the world, what is your perception like of the United States now compared to before you started traveling with RN money, because you balling?
Every time I travel, I notice that the people there are so kind and so welcoming, and they
Because
know
you're giving money to the economy.
Come travel with
no,
me,
but
so
they
I
know
get
so
treated.
much about their history. Over here, I don't even know what the Empire State Building is for. Like, I don't know nothing about this country. And over there, you pick a fruit out of a plant, out of a tree, and they'll tell you like the whole history.
You know about 950. That's all I need to know. That's all the rest doesn't really matter. And also all our affiliates, Grind TV, CBTV, WRN. I mean, the list goes on and on. But again, I mean, it's funny you say that, because I don't know if it's. I'm big on American history. Even when I was in school, that was one of my, because I think with history it tells you where you're going, or where you're at, and where you're going. And I think a lot of other countries, because those countries are so much older, except for Dubai, obviously, but all those countries are so much older, they have much more lineage, and the history.
But can I say something? That, and the one thing I'll say that's different about this country compared to every other country in the world, every other country in the world made this country. So it's kind of hard to sit there and say, well, they know this and they know that. Well, I could tell you what some cotton is about if you really want to know, or somebody could tell you in San Francisco what some gold is about if you really want to know. But understand, this country was made on the backs of the rest of the world. That's why this country, everybody somewhat is supposed to look at this country as the foremost countries, because we're not a decidedly one culture, or we were here for X amount of years.
Speak on it, yeah.
I hear that. But even the Indians still traveled over, as they say. Still, the Indians traveled over from other countries to come here. This is legit, like, the quote-unquote, according to history, they traveled over the ice bridge and so forth and so on from other countries. This is the legit only country that doesn't have an indigenous person. Well, all right, we'll say besides the Indians, more or less, that have been here for years and years, eons and eons on it. Everybody else has a... You go to Jamaica, the Jamaicans is in Jamaica. You go to DR, the Puerto Ricans, so forth and so on. America is a legit blend.
Well, that's because if your land was stolen and they create their own history, then
I understand. But I'm just saying. Yeah.
Haitians.
The Haitians.
One island is speaking Spanish, the other
island is speaking French. Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying, they were conquered by, Spaniards.
Right, but to her point is that they know their history. When you come to America, every state has its own history. That's the difference.
Nigel, grab a mic.
Yes, Nigel, because we can't understand you.
If you're
like
going to come on, if you're going to go.
Yeah, here you go. Dominican Republic actually became, I don't know what, Indians.
And you know what? That's a good segue to get back into question of the day, because
Yeah.
we go to a whole different tangent.
Definitely.
But thank you, Nigel and Bredron. Let's move on, and let's go back. Let's go back to what we were talking about. Can you be in love with two people at the same time? What to do if the strong feelings from multiple people at once happen? Let's go to the next question. What does it mean to be in love with someone? Before getting into whether it's possible to be in love with two people at the same time, it's important to try to define what being in love really means. Love is a big concept with long history. It's hard to imagine a culture without a term for it, or a person who never uttered the phrase, I love you. Okay, let me go to Daddy's Girl. Your thoughts on what does it mean to be in love to you? What does love mean to you, being in love with somebody? Give me a reason when you was in love. You said only one time. We gotta help you get the two. But give me a reason when you was in love. What did it feel like? What's your definition of being in love?
Is putting that person before yourself. And making sure that their needs are met.
So let me ask you a question. You said putting needs before yourself. So that means if you got one chicken patty in the refrigerator, putting him before you, he's going to eat before you eat?
No, we're splitting it half, but he gets the bigger half.
Oh, okay. That's a good woman right there. Okay. I think the fellas agree. Let me go to you, Grind. Your thoughts on what does being in love mean? Now, you've had 3 shots.
I think sometimes being in love sometimes it means being a fool.
Okay.
Sometimes it means being a fool, if you understand that. Like, sometimes you just let things go that you really, if like for you for instance, you said like, you know what I'm saying, you've been single for a while, you dealt with a lot of different women, but certain circumstances that you be in, like sometimes it be children, sometimes it's out of necessity, like a lot of dudes who fall in love with a woman that they not used to even trying to be with, but they need a place to stay. So they wind up.
You must know my brother.
You know, but there's a lot of brothers out here that's like that. You know what I mean? So it's being playing the fool sometimes. Sometimes being in love means you gotta play the fool. That's why that song, "Why Do Fools Fall in Love?" And
What about you, Classic? Your thoughts on? I mean, obviously you've had a run with it, and
6 years.
Unfortunately, it didn't
Yeah,
continue.
that's what it is.
But what does it mean to you?
I mean, it's just, you bend over backwards and you wholeheartedly will always show that person the utmost respect and honesty. That's really what love is. As long as you show them love, honesty, respect, and commitment, there's love.
What about you, moderator? Your thoughts on?
You know what? I gotta go with Grind, and I gotta go with her, man. I mean, that's pretty much a combination. You will play the fool, you know what I'm saying? But yet at the same time, that person's needs are really paramount to yours. And the thing I really like about it is that if I'm saying that her needs are paramount to mine, when my needs become paramount to hers, that's when you know you at that point where this really is what it was designed.
Right, my grape Kool-Aid and your blue Kool-Aid, we make a whole new drink. Right. What about you, Tane? Let me throw a monkey wrench in it. Being that playing the fool sometimes could be where you're not loving with your eyes open. What is your thoughts about love if you have to constantly play the fool? Is it really love, or is it, like Grind said, maybe lust?
Well, I'm glad I'm last. Because
you're the love doctor, so you got to bring it home.
I feel like what you're saying and what you're saying kind of goes hand in hand. If you feel like you have to put someone else's needs before yours, you are the fool. Because you shouldn't have to compromise your love of what you need for yourself. You shouldn't have to compromise yourself to be in any relationship. Because relationships, they feel like, it takes a certain amount of compromise. No, it takes a lot of adapting and growth, but not really compromise.
But adapting is compromising. To adapt means to compromise. If you think about it, when you adapt to something, you're changing something. You're compromising something or something about yourself to fit with somebody else. For instance, let's just for things and giggles here. If I'm dating Serena, for instance, and she has a baby, and I adapt my schedule so that I help her take care of the baby, it's not my child. It's somebody else's child. But because I have a love and a care for her and I want to build something with her, I'm compromising myself because I'm adapting to her schedule so that we can now share taking care of the baby.
Well, you have one very important word that changes it from compromise. You wanted to. Compromise
but that's
usually
a relationship, though. But in a relationship, if you're going to be in it with somebody, you have to want to be in it with them. You have to want to change to help them.
But
that's a relationship.
Once you put want in the sentence, it's no longer compromise because you wanted to do that.
For instance, change it.
Let's say currently I'm dealing with a lot of females, right? And I'm enjoying that for the moment, but it doesn't make a difference to me. So if I find a woman that I want to give my all to, I'm still not wanting other females. But if I want to give my life to her and want other females and I have to give that up, that's a compromise. So you really shouldn't kind of compromise what you want that's making you happy for someone else. Because what ends up happening is now it's that person's job to fulfill where you've compromised that. And that's a lot of pressure.
But you can ask them to do that job. It's because you want to do it. See, that want part is that key word of wanting to do something is so defined in a relationship. And that's more or less what makes a relationship.
That's why I was saying once you want it, it's not compromise.
But it's still got to be, it's still a form of compromise. It's always a compromise. Even that wanting, it's still a compromise because you're never going to compromise to doing something you don't want to do. You're not gonna sit here and I'm gonna do this, but I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway because that's just stupid. Because you're just making yourself unhappy.
Well,
and why would you do something to make yourself unhappy?
What's your definition?
But that's playing a fool too, though. That's when you're in love. Because sometimes when you're in love, you play the fool. Like some dudes out here don't really want to be stuck in a relationship, but they stay in it for whatever reason, whatever it is. Like I said,
It's winter time.
Yeah,
It's cold out there.
Like
I want a hot meal once or twice a week.
Exactly. Or like that saying that they say, oh, it's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah.
Some dudes don't want to be, or some women don't want to be in a relationship that they in, but they know that it's cheaper to be with that guy because he's taking care of them, i.e., what you said. And there's guys that
daddy, sugar baby.
and that there's guys that they don't have a place to go. So if they go out there and they don't compromise and not keep their thing in their pants, they know they're going to get evicted or kicked out, and there's nowhere for them to go. So they're making a compromise to be with this woman that they probably don't want to be with, because they know if they do step out and do what they really want to do, then they're going to be homeless.
Well, think about it like this. You just listed a bunch of things of why you would need to compromise. You just gave a lot of reasons as to why it's necessary. But the thing about it is, what compromise is doing something that you don't want to do for the time being or for that circumstance. If you are in love and you have those elements in there, then you are you're taking an L somewhere. So if you are in a relationship, if you get yourself straight where you don't have to engage with nobody off of no compromises, you got your living situation straight, you got your money straight, you got your goals, your job, your ambitions, everything straight, you share that with someone else who is also straight. Therefore, there is no compromise.
Theoretically, you're 100% correct. Guess what?
You're absolutely right.
That's hard to find.
And that
don't exist.
don't work.
I'd rather wait.
That don't exist.
I'd rather wait, because we're not waiting leads to compromise.
Go ahead, Mike.
Theoretically, that's accurate. Let's talk realistically. Realistically, it is theoretically impossible to be involved in a relationship with someone where you find yourself in love with them, where you do not truly acquiesce, capitulate, whatever term we want to use to go along with it, where you don't, for the hood ebonics, take a L. There are things you end up doing in a relationship, maybe not on the grand scheme, but on the small thing, where you end up doing things you do not want to do. However, for the sake of whatever it is he or she may desire or want, it could be something as simple as, I don't mean to throw nobody under the bus, Kev don't want to go to the cookout.
You know me well.
Family. Kev does not want to go.
Hell no, I ain't going. They burn all the chicken.
Kev is short of straight refusing. However, for the sanctity of Kev's home and to be able to talk to his wife during the week, Kev ends up at the barbecue that he don't want to be at anyway. There's not a relationship anywhere that those small L's do not occur.
I'll say this. I'll take it in the holiday season right now. I'm not a big shopping person. But some of the girls I know, they like to go shopping. So guess what? To entertain the fact of being a nice guy and, if they're not driving or whatever, can we go shopping? So what do I have to do? I have to sit in stores, hold bags, take an L. I don't want to, but because I like them, I do it. Sucks to be me. That's a compromise. I gotta eat it. You play the fool. I've been married, so I know what it's like to have your wife take you somewhere you know you don't want to go. You told her. She knows I don't want to go, and then you gotta go and be with a smile and be nice and be
asking
funny
what your interests are.
And do everything
Who
the
you
nice
be
way.
with.
Be the nice guy because that's your wife. And you want to have, what the saying go? Happy wife, happy life.
So you just got a cheesesteak and Welch's grape and call it a day.
We can all agree that there's someone who's not perfectly, but highly compatible out there for us. I feel like if there's a lot of things that I like to do, that if we're in a relationship, you don't
Everybody's
like to
using you as a reference.
She's the only female. What am I gonna say? I'm in a relationship.
I ain't been in a relationship with none of y'all. No way.
So
I'm not going there.
Like
if
there's things I like to do, like I like to go see sports, right? Right? I want to go see sports, and I want to go see sports with my girl, but you don't like sports.
She just said,
I'm not going to make you compromise. If you don't like it, that's fine. I will go find someone who wants to enjoy that moment with me.
But here's your one problem right there. I'm going to give you this real quick. You already know where I'm going. You're going to find some One, you won't ever tell no other woman that you're dating, well, since you don't want to go with me, I'm going to go find someone. Because I'm telling you,
You won't be
right
dating
now,
her
you
anymore.
won't be dating her very
Time
long.
out.
Don't tell that to a Latina.
Wait.
You might get cut. You
There's-
see what happened
there's a
you see
word
what
you
happened to
wanna-
Terrell
Yes,
Pryor.
it is.
You can say I'm going
Yes,
to
it
take one
is.
of my boys. It doesn't matter, bro.
Yes, it is.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm going to find someone
Death wish.
else. You're done.
Hold on. There's a word you want to stick in there. You don't tell an insecure woman
It doesn't
that.
matter,
tell
bro.
anyone.
It does.
You don't
because
tell
if-
any woman
if the
that's
pers-
secure or insecure. It does not matter.
If the person's secure with themselves, right? Let's say the person's insecure, and I say, all right, well, if you're not interested in football games, don't worry about it. I'll just find someone else to go with. An insecure woman, translate that as you taking another female. I'm looking at it as, yo, he like football too, so me and him will go out.
Bro, let me
So
explain
I
this.
shouldn't
Well,
have to
he
break
said a guy. He didn't say a girl.
Listen, it doesn't
What if it was
matter.
reversed?
I said somebody. He
It
said you
doesn't-
can't tell a
you
woman
can't
that.
say- okay, somebody is an open. That's even worse.
Yeah, that's an open.
You better say I'm taking my bro with me. You better not say somebody.
Right.
Secure women or insecure women? Women or women?
Hold on, just go ahead, Serena.
If I want to go to ballet and you don't, are you okay with me going with another guy?
Another guy?
Yeah,
And
to
we're
the
in a
ballet.
relationship?
You better be in the
Yes.
ballet.
Oh, hold on. You said what did he say?
He said yes.
He said yes. Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I'm going to give off the same energy that I would want to receive.
Hold on, can I say something to that? I wanna say something to that.
I'm not going to
Say like that, bro.
insecure.
At the end of the day, people want to do what they want to do
Right.
regardless.
Right.
So whether I say yeah, go with another dude, or no, don't go with another dude, at some point in time, people going to do what they want to do regardless.
Grind,
And,
that's where.
and with what you said, that if you saying that you're okay with her going with another guy to a ballet because you don't want to go, that means that you're compromising and you're playing the fool because you're in love.
How?
Because you cool with her going out with another guy because you don't want to go there. That's a compromise.
Right.
You're not going, and you love her enough to trust her enough to let her go.
No,
so
it's a compromise if I don't want her to go, and then I allow her to go with another guy.
you allow her.
Yeah,
I'm going regardless.
Yeah, my man, you don't say that word on this.
Don't say that word.
Don't say aloud and don't
So,
say somebody.
not-
This is two
not
words
saying-
you do not say.
Not saying that I have control over her. Maybe it's a wrong choice of words.
Yes, it is.
Just black on me, right? So for me to accept, not it's not a allow, but it's either I have a problem with it or I don't. If I don't have a problem, it's like I accept it. At the end of the day, you're gonna have guy friends, you're gonna have female friends, and vice versa. So if you have friends, regardless of what their gender is, that's interested in the same thing you are, that I'm not.
then go with people that's interested. It would be a better experience. It's like taking a female to a football game and then you gotta explain to her every play what the hell just happened. Nah, I'm taking my bro grind right here and we out because you're not interested. That's fine.
But it's still a compromise that you let her go with another person
How's
other
that?
than you.
A compromise
Because
is something that I don't want to do, but I do it anyway.
you don't really want her going out with another guy on
I
a
don't
date.
care. You should care.
Wow.
I don't.
Why?
Why?
You see, she said it. She said you should.
But that makes me feel that you don't care about me or have love for me anymore.
Well,
See?
then-
You can't do right with
what
women,
is it
boy.
boil-
You can-
what does it boil down to? It boils down to your love language. What I decide to do with my life and what you decide to do with your life has nothing to do with me. You do what you need to do to keep you happy and enjoy your experience on this earth, and I do the same.
find
And
me a
with
woman like
those
that.
two, we come together
Yo.
and find a balance.
All I know is this. I heard in Japan they got these nice dolls that do amazing things, bro. Because what you're looking for
Yeah.
is not a woman, bro.
Bro, it's not a
an
human.
animated adventure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
We're
bro. I
gonna-
didn't say it like that, but it really is.
We're going to end it right there. Question of the day presented by Stone Cover Pal. Go to stonecoverpal.com for your chance to get 40% off more of your Christmas apparel. Hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, sweatsuits, you name it, they got it at Stone Cover Pal. Stone Cover Pal, be different. Grind, where can people reach out to you?
Everything about me, grindhardtv.com, social media, worldarama, WORLDARAMA, grindhardtv.com.
And again,
One more time, welcome to the fam, my brother. Serena, you made it. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
You didn't even need to rum.
Congratulations.
You even
I
had
actually did a little bit.
Oh wow, okay, damn. Maybe that's why you were so calm. But where can people reach out to you? I mean, go on vacation with you. Maybe pay for a vacation.
Oh, I accept that.
Oh well, I'll take it then. You give me the money, but pay for a vacation.
Follow me on Instagram. That's Serena_4U. That's SERENA_4, the letter U.
You did great. Thank you so much. We'll take a quick break. It's 950 Lounge. We keep this thing moving. Come on back. Hey, it's your boy 950 Kev for the 950 Lounge Show with LeBron James and the radio game, the most electrifying man in media today. And I'm 1/5 of the best team in radio.
So I'm joined by my brother Rodeo, the funny guy, Just the Classic Man, the cynic, aka Mr. Roper, Backstage Ed, and the lovely, super talented Steph Pearl. It's 9 Feet Lounge every day, all day on multiple networks. So give us a listen. Let us know what you think. Catch us at www.9feetlounge.com, on my Instagram at 950kev.